The game opens with pure chaos and adrenaline. The crowd is roaring. The announcers are scrambling to keep up. And right when it feels like the tension can't get any higher, Cameron Dicker steps up and absolutely drills another clutch kick, giving the Chargers the overtime lead. Cut to slow-motion reactions from the sidelines, fans with their hands on their heads, and a quick montage of the night's biggest highlights exploding across the screen. Over this, your voice comes in. What a wild Monday Night Football showdown. The Eagles fighting to stay alive, the Chargers refusing to back down, and Dicker suddenly playing like he owns primetime. How did we get here? And what does this mean for both teams moving forward? Let's break it all down. Visuals fade into your channel's intro animation as the energy stays high. You come back in with a warm but excited tone, welcoming viewers and setting the stage for what's about to unfold. You briefly explain that this video will cover the entire story of the Eagles versus Chargers Monday Night Thriller, not just the final score. But the momentum swings, the key drives the standout players, and especially the late-game execution that pushed the matchup into chaos and ultimately into overtime. You remind viewers how big this game was coming in. The Eagles trying to prove they can close out games under pressure. And the Chargers fighting for consistency and identity in a season full of close calls. You promise to walk through every major turning point, from the first-half setups to the explosive second-half drama, all the way to the clutch moments that turn this into one of the most entertaining MNF finishes of the year. You invite viewers to stay locked in because the story of this game is full of surprises, mistakes, brilliance, and clutch performances that are worth analyzing from start to finish. The first half of this Monday Night Football showdown between the Eagles and the Chargers set the tone for everything that would unfold later. From the opening kick, it was clear that both teams understood how important this matchup was. The Eagles came out aggressively, pushing the tempo with quick passes and early runs designed to keep the Chargers' defense guessing. Jalen Hurts looked locked in during the first couple of drives, spreading the ball around with confidence. Short slants, RPO keepers, and perfectly timed checkdowns hinted that Philadelphia had come prepared. But the Chargers weren't just spectators. Their defense tightened in the red zone, forcing the Eagles to settle for a field goal instead of landing a knockout punch early. And once Justin Herbert got the ball, he immediately showcased why he's considered one of the league's most naturally gifted passers. The Chargers' offensive line gave him just enough time to find windows in the Eagles' secondary, including a beautiful back shoulder shot down the sideline that electrified the stadium. As the half progressed, both teams exchanged momentum. The Eagles executed a methodical drive featuring a mix of hard inside runs and well-designed screenplays, eventually punching in a touchdown, but LA responded with a drive of their own that relied on smart play calling, motion, misdirection, and quick outs that slowly chipped away at the Eagles' defensive front. Special teams also made an impact early. A big return gave the Chargers great field position, leading to another scoring opportunity. And even though neither team truly pulled away, the intensity felt like it was building with every snap. The first half wasn't about dominance. It was about tension, adjustments, and each side feeling out the other's weaknesses, setting the stage for the explosive finish to come. Second half kicked off with a noticeable shift in momentum and energy. The Eagles returned from halftime looking determined to impose their physicality. They leaned heavily on their run game, pushing the tempo and trying to wear down the Chargers' front seven. For a moment it worked. Philadelphia strung together a long, grinding drive that took several minutes off the clock. Hurts connected on a couple of tight window passes, and the offense found themselves deep in Chargers territory once again. But once again, the Chargers' defense stood tall when it mattered. A crucial sack on third down forced another field goal attempt instead of a touchdown, keeping the Chargers within striking distance. That defensive stop shifted the momentum, and LA capitalized quickly. Herbert orchestrated an impressive drive featuring precise timing routes and a deep shot that got the crowd roaring. A touchdown moments later brought the Chargers right back into the fight. Late in the fourth quarter, the drama intensified. The Eagles, trailing by a possession, began playing with urgency. Hurts made several clutch throws on third down, including a laser across the middle that extended the drive and kept the clock moving. But the Chargers' pass rush was relentless, collapsing the pocket and forcing Hurts into tough decisions. With just minutes remaining, Philadelphia managed to tie the game with a gritty drive and a perfectly executed touchdown. The stadium atmosphere changed instantly. Everyone could feel that this game was heading toward a chaotic finish. The Chargers got the ball back with a chance to win in regulation, but stalled after a crucial drop on third down. Everything came down to the final seconds, with both teams trading punches and defensive stands. Regulation wasn't enough. The tension, mistakes, and clutch plays had stacked up to the point where overtime felt inevitable. Overtime began with the kind of tension you only get when both teams know that one mistake could end the game instantly. The Chargers won the coin toss, and the stadium erupted. There was a sense that Justin Herbert and the offense had the momentum and, more importantly, the confidence to control the extra period. The opening drive of OT was a masterclass in calm execution. Herbert delivered quick, accurate throws to move the chains, avoiding unnecessary risks while steadily pushing into Eagles territory. The Eagles' defense tightened only slightly, but even then Herbert found ways to escape pressure and hit his checkdowns at the perfect time. The Chargers weren't going for flashy plays, they were going for survival, one first down at a time. And then came Cameron Dicker. After Herbert's drive stalled around the edge of field goal range, the Chargers faced a crucial decision. A long kick, high pressure, season implications. Only one guy could settle this moment. Dicker stepped onto the field with ice in his veins. The crowd went silent for a beat, then erupted as the ball was snapped. He connected cleanly, perfect rotation, straight flight, and drilled the kick to give the Chargers the overtime lead. The stadium exploded. Dicker wasn't just good tonight, it was flawless. Every kick felt like a message. Keep the Chargers in range, and he'll take care of the rest. But OT wasn't done. The Eagles got their possession, needing to match or score a touchdown. Hurts tried to remain calm, but with pressure mounting and the Chargers' defense playing inspired football, the Eagles struggled to create rhythm. A critical stop on third down forced a desperate fourth down attempt that fell incomplete. That was the moment. The Chargers stormed the field. Dicker's clutch performance had sealed a dramatic, emotional, unforgettable overtime showdown. After a game like this, the numbers tell a story of their own, and several key players on both sides delivered performances worth spotlighting. Starting with the Chargers, Justin Herbert showcased why he's considered one of the NFL's top talents. His yardage total climbed steadily throughout the night, fueled by accurate throws under pressure and fearless deep ball attempts. He spread the ball around efficiently, hitting multiple receivers for key gains. His decision-making in overtime was especially impressive, smart, controlled, and perfectly tailored to the moment. But the true star of the night, Cameron Dicker. His kicking performance was nothing short of exceptional. Every field goal carried weight, and every kick felt like a pressure cooker. Yet he drilled each one with stunning consistency. The stat sheet will show the distances. It won't capture the emotional impact, the crowd holding its breath, the sideline reactions, the way each kick shifted momentum. His overtime kick in particular was a demonstration of elite composure. On the Eagles' side, Jalen Hurts delivered a tough, gritty performance. His passing numbers reflected the constant pressure he was under, but he came through on several crucial plays. His ability to escape collapsing pockets and extend drives kept Philadelphia alive deep into the game. The Eagles' running game also offered flashes of dominance, with strong yardage totals that forced the Chargers to stay honest defensively. Defensively, both teams had standout moments. The Chargers' pass rush recorded several key sacks that changed the shape of Philadelphia drives, while the Eagles' secondary delivered big plays of their own, breaking up deep passes and limiting explosive plays. Looking at the stats as a whole, it becomes clear that this was not a game of dominance, it was a game of execution. The Chargers capitalized on key moments. The Eagles fought back every step of the way, but in the end, the performance of one clutch kicker tilted the balance. When you examine this game from both sides, the final outcome becomes a story of execution, timing, and key mistakes, rather than simple talent. For the Eagles, what went wrong centered around missed opportunities. Early in the game, they moved the ball effectively, but struggled to finish drives with touchdowns. Settling for field goals in situations where they needed sevens changed the math later on. The pass protection also broke down at crucial moments, putting Hurts in difficult situations and preventing the offense from establishing any late-game rhythm. Another major issue was defensive inconsistency. At times, the Eagles' defense looked suffocating. At other moments, they allowed long drives that drained the clock and momentum. Their inability to consistently pressure Herbert Teshley in overtime proved costly. Missed tackles and blown coverages also allowed the Chargers to stay in control of the tempo. Meanwhile, the Chargers executed where it mattered. They weren't perfect, far from it, but their late-game play calling was smart, balanced, and tailored to the strengths of their roster. Herbert's calmness under pressure elevated the entire offense. His ability to make the correct read and avoid backbreaking mistakes kept the Chargers competitive even when the Eagles surged. Defensively, Los Angeles did just enough. They bent, but didn't break, especially in the red zone. Those stops in the first half preserved momentum, and their late-game pass rush delivered when the Eagles needed time the most. And of course, the biggest what went right for LA was Cameron Dicker. His reliability changed everything. Instead of needing risky plays or touchdown drives, the Chargers just needed to reach his range. That single factor reshaped their overtime strategy entirely. In the end, this game wasn't about one team being dramatically better. It was about who executed under pressure. And on this night, the Chargers executed just a little bit more.